This is NDDC Today. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Now, the interim administrator, CEO of the NDDC, seemed undaunted in his effort to connect better with stakeholders and the various state governments and governors connected with the NDDC. Now, going by the recent voices of some governors of the region's component states and other key stakeholders, the idea seemed to be catching on. Mr. Effiong Akwa has, in the last 2 months of his appointment, been working round the clock to seek this collaboration, partnership, and understanding from among key stakeholders in the region in a bid to create a systematic synergy that will help the NDDC do its job better. In today's program, therefore, the interim administrator, CEO NDDC, Effiong Akwa, meets with Rivers and Akwa Ibom state governors. They chart a way forward for better cooperation. NDDC orders contractors back to site as interim administrator CEO Akwa inspects regional hospital and University of Uyo hostel project in Akwa Ibom State. Now, the House of Representatives Committee on the NDDC visits the NDDC new permanent site and pledges support for the commission. Plus, the NDDC solicits the United States of America support for a new Niger Delta Regional Development Master Plan. These and more when we return. I am Patrick Oke. Welcome back. Barely 2 months in office, the NDDC interim administrator Effiong Akwa is gradually trying to change the narrative at the NDDC and seems to be repositioning the commission for better service delivery. Recently, Effiong Akwa visited the commission's warehouse in Port Harcourt, where he ordered urgent distribution of some equipment which he thought would better serve the 9 states of the Niger Delta. The items included waste disposal trucks, boats, ambulances. Now, 2 days after the order was handed, Akwa matched his words with action by presenting some of the trucks to the Rivers State government during his courtesy visit to the state governor in Port Harcourt.
The Rivers State Governor, Chief Nyesom Wike, has assured the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, of support to ensure that it succeeds in the task of developing the Niger Delta region. Wike spoke at the Rivers State Government House, Port Harcourt, during a courtesy visit by the NDDC Interim Administrator, Mr. Effiong Akwa, who was accompanied by directors of the Commission. Governor Wike called for an NDDC that would effectively support the states of the Niger Delta region in their development efforts.
Let me say very clearly that the essence, the intent of the founding fathers of the NDDC was to see how that commission will be a body that will support the states of the Niger Delta and the development of the region. I have always said to people, when you have an opportunity to make contribution to the development of your land, of your fatherland, you must see it that it's a blessing that God gives to you. You must not see it as a way to set back your region. I'm happy with what you read out here, what you said here.
He advised the interim administrator to visit all the governors of states in the region, urging him to work in the interest of Niger Delta people by embarking on regional projects in partnership with state governments.
So, the way you have started, if you continue this way, the governors of the Niger Delta will support you.
Earlier, in his address, the NDDC Interim Administrator, Mr. Effiong Akwa, said that the Commission was determined to partner with the governors of the Niger Delta region.
I have made it a point of duty to reach out to critical stakeholders of the Niger Delta region in order to tap from their wealth of knowledge, as well as brief them of my desire to implement programs and policies that will ensure quick and impactful deliverables for the Niger Delta region, in line with the presidential directive. Your Excellency, sir, it is important to state that this visit, which is the first I will make to any governor of the Niger Delta states, this is not coincidental but well thought out visit to the governor of Rivers State. First, being the host governor of the NDDC and most importantly, a distinguished son of the Niger Delta region.
Akwa congratulated Governor Wike for the infrastructural development in Rivers State, which he said could only be achieved by someone who was focused, passionate, and had the welfare of the people at heart. He thanked the governor for the ongoing dualization of the Eastern Bypass Road, where the newly completed NDDC head office is situated. Akwa further stressed that the NDDC can do more in terms of deliverables for the people of Rivers State and the Niger Delta region in general by having a robust partnership with the state government. The interim administrator said that the commission had enjoyed a good working relationship with the government and people of Rivers State under the leadership of Governor Wike and promised to sustain the synergy.
So all the drama that accompanied the visit of the CEO of the NDDC to the Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike. In the same vein, the CEO visited Akwa Ibom State, and he met the governor in the government house in Uyo, where he also delivered some waste collection trucks to the state government. A correspondent was on that entourage. The governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, has lauded the interim administrator of the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC for engaging major stakeholders to enlist their collaboration in addressing the challenges of developing the Niger Delta region. The governor gave the commendation while receiving a delegation of directors led by the NDDC interim administrator, Mr. Effiong Akwa, to pay him a courtesy visit at Government House, Uyo. Governor Emmanuel urged the NDDC to continue with its inclusive approach to development, noting that the Commission would achieve more by working in partnership with all the stakeholders.
There's nothing as good as sitting down to discuss. As we sit down, we are not enemies in any way. We should be partners in progress. The NDDC is for our region. We should benefit from it. Let me sincerely, first of all, appreciate the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for recognizing one of our own to be the interim administrator and CEO. And also use this opportunity also to thank the Minister of Niger Delta for fighting to get that for the state. It could have gone anywhere. So we're hoping with the target you have to foster collaboration within the partner states and develop a working partnership with all the stakeholders. I'm sure you'll achieve a lot more.
Governor Emmanuel promised to support the NDDC's interim administrator and advised him to put things in place to ensure corporate governance in the commission. The governor assured the preparedness of the state government to partner with NDDC because the commission has shown readiness to work with Akwa Ibom State.
For this opportunity, we just believe that we are ready to collaborate with you, we're ready to partner with you because you're ready to agree with us. The Bible says, can two work together except they agree? Since you now say you are going to agree with us on our development pattern, then we're ready to also agree and work with you. But please make use of this opportunity and leave a mark, leave a legacy.
Emmanuel urged the NDDC to complete the power transmission line from Ikotabasi through Ikparakwa by linking it to Alauji Power Station in Aba.
Power is the cheapest that you need to do. Please, interim administrator, even if you have 1 week in office, complete the transmission line between Ikotabasi and Ikparakwa. Once we do that, we'll be able to evacuate a whole lot of power we're generating from Ibom Power to the national grid, and that will help the entire region.
He thanked the NDDC for donating 6 waste disposal trucks and bins to assist the state in maintaining a clean environment. Earlier in his address, the NDDC Chief Executive Officer told Governor Emmanuel that his visit was part of the Commission's continuing engagement with stakeholders of the Niger Delta region.
Our visit is both to acknowledge your strategic importance to the Niger Delta region, as well as seek ways in which we can forge stronger alliance with the government and people of Akwa Ibom State. We offer both our hands and seek embrace with you, Your Excellency.
Akwa applauded Governor Emmanuel for demonstrating a strong belief in the Niger Delta project. According to him, the governor brought the enterprise spirit, expertise and culture to bear in governance. He informed the governor of the commissioning of the new NDDC headquarters complex in Marine Base, Port Harcourt on February 25, 2021, noting it was accomplished under the supervision of Senator Akpabio. The interim administrator later presented keys to 6 waste disposal trucks to the Akwa Ibom State government to assist the government in its efforts to improve the sanitary conditions in the state. The visit served the CEO NDDC to 2 governments and governors. First to the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, and to Emmanuel Udom of Akwa Ibom, and their contributions to how best to reposition the NDDC in going forward. While in Akwa Ibom State, the interim administrator, CEO of the NDDC, inspected the Commission's regional hospital at Nkpat Enim and the University of Uyo Hostel project, where he ordered both contractors handling the project back to site.
Mr. Effiong Akwa has ordered contractors handling its projects to return to site immediately and complete the work for which they were engaged. Speaking during the inspection of the Niger Delta Region Specialist Hospital at Nkparenin local government area of Akwa Ibom State, the NDDC Chief Executive Officer said that the Commission would not go back on the regional hospital project because of its strategic importance. He promised to pay for the milestone already achieved by the contractor to ensure that the project is completed.
Please, we can't go back on this kind of project. This project will benefit the community, will benefit society, will benefit the university community also, and the entire region. So there was a purpose for setting up this, and we want to achieve that.
The contractor, Elder Mfoniso Essien, put the completion status of the complex at 26% and appealed for the payment of outstanding interim payment certificates (IPCs) to enable them return to site. Akwa, who was accompanied by directors of the Commission, also inspected the 175-room University of Uyo permanent site hostel in Uyo local government area. Akwa directed the contractors to report to the Commission's headquarters in Port Harcourt for a comprehensive evaluation of the constraints which would assist in putting together the necessary things to ensure the realization of the projects. Inspecting the hostel project, Akwa stated that the NDDC was building similar hostels in other universities across the Niger Delta region. He, however, observed that a few of the projects were experiencing some hitches which would soon be resolved. He regretted that the uncompleted university hostels, which were awarded many years ago, had for one reason or the other remained stalled. The NDDC boss assured that efforts were being made to review all the obstacles and take measures to ensure that the projects were completed. According to him, the University of Uyo hostel is a must for the NDDC and asked the contractor to submit his requirements for the continuation of the project while assuring him of payment for earlier achieved milestones. Briefing the NDDC boss, the contractor, architect Emeka Maduka, said that the hostel project had largely been completed, leaving only external works and landscaping. He said that the project had reached 80% completion before it was stalled on account of funding challenges.
You can come to the office on Monday to prepare for the meeting on Wednesday. Between that date, working with the state director, we should be able to give whatever, because this is an essential project.
That is true.
And
Yes.
we want it done.
That hospital and the nearly completed hostel project will go a long way to help solve the immediate and long-term needs of the people when completed and put into use, particularly the suffering students. The House of Representatives Committee on the NDDC recently visited the River State capital, Port Harcourt, to carry out on-the-spot oversight assessment of the new permanent headquarters building of the NDDC. A reporter was at the venue of the visit reported that the committee at the end of the headquarters project tour pledged their support for the NDDC on the development of the Niger Delta.
The chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC, Honorable Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, has pledged to support the commission as a strategic stakeholder in the sustainable development of Nigeria's oil-rich region. Speaking during the oversight tour of the House Committee at the NDDC permanent headquarters in Port Harcourt, Honorable Tunji-Ojo stated that partnership with stakeholders would help in repositioning the NDDC for more effective performance in its mandate states. Tunji-Ojo declared the committee is willing and ready to work with the NDDC in terms of drafting legislation that will ensure that the commission is more efficient and delivers on its mandate. The lawmaker stated that the NDDC should work towards the transformation of the Niger Delta region for the benefit of the people, assuring that the House Committee would help to set up the necessary mechanisms to ensure that the commission was successful. According to him, it is the position of the committee that going forward, the NDDC is expected to award contracts to only contractors with capacity and focus.
Notice us from coming up with a joint qualification system for contractors so that there's categorization of contracts depending on your capacity. A man who has a turnover of 50 million getting a job of 1 billion, the job has failed even before execution. We must do things the right way.
He harped on the importance of reviewing the Niger Delta Regional Development Master Plan, which he stated is long overdue. He, however, promised that efforts will be made to ensure that the states of the Niger Delta, oil companies, private sector, multilateral organizations, civil society and other stakeholders jointly review and update the master plan and commit to its effective implementation.
To this end, the Commission should facilitate the process and allow other stakeholders to take leadership in determining the content, objectives of the master plan. This will engender ownership by the people and institutions of the region and also ensure that the plan, when revised, is acceptable and widely implemented.
Tunji-Ojo noted that since the inauguration of this committee nearly 2 years ago, this is the first time the committee is visiting the NDDC in line with its oversight functions, and that is due to the current leadership of the commission. The committee chairman noted that the NDDC, as an interventionist agency, was supposed to work on the basis of having quick turnarounds on projects delivery. He regretted that this has not been the case currently. Welcoming the committee members to the NDDC permanent headquarters, the interim administrator of the NDDC and chief executive officer, Mr. Effiong Akwa, thanked them for visiting the commission's permanent headquarters and sought the support of the committee in enacting legislation that would enhance the productivity of the interventionist agency and correct inconsistencies in the there current NDDC Act.
A need for the amendment of the Act. We created an act created a lacuna. There was no direction.
Akwa stated that the NDDC was ready to work with the committee to ensure a better life for the people of the Niger Delta region. Akwa later took members of the House Committee on a tour of the newly completed headquarters complex.
It's good to know that the House of Representatives Committee on the NDDC is still very much on top of its job after all the incidences of probes and counter-probes that bedeviled the work of the immediate past Interim Management Committee, IMC. Also during the week, the Interim Administrator of the NDDC has solicited the buy-in of the United States Consulate Office in Nigeria for support in the making of a new Niger Delta Regional Development Master Plan. Our correspondent was at the U.S. consular meeting with the interim administrator, reporting that Mr. Akwa made this request. Among other areas, he hoped to seek collaboration and partnership with the U.S. government with.
Mr. Effiong Akwa has called for a collaboration with the United States government in its efforts to produce a revised Regional Development Master Plan for the Niger Delta region. Akwa made the call when a delegation from the United States Consulate in Lagos, led by the political and economic chief, Mr. Brandon Hotspeth, paid him a courtesy visit at the Commission's new headquarters in Port Harcourt. The NDDC Chief Executive Officer remarked that the master plan for the region, which had a lifespan of 15 years, expired in 2020. He therefore appealed to the US for a partnership to produce another master plan that will be tailored to address the needs of Niger Delta people and American citizens in the region. He said that the Niger Delta, as an oil-rich region, should be looking beyond its oil wealth, stating that the region had great potentials in agriculture. He called for the support of the U.S. Consulate in Nigeria in ensuring that U.S. oil and gas companies operating in the Niger Delta region remit payments due to the NDDC as at when due, as stipulated by the law.
So far, we've had a good relationship, but sometimes there is what we call statutory remittances. Statutory remittances that the law allows them to pay for the development of the Niger Delta region. Most of these monies are often delayed. To some extent, in most cases, we have to enlist the support of the security agencies in Nigeria. Like EFCC have to help us, come around to help us. It is not ideal that people should be compelled to do what is obligatory. So we should be able to talk to your companies that operate in the region to on their own willingly make timely remittances of their obligations to the Commission, which will help in stabilizing the region.
Speaking further, Akwa requested for the support of its postgraduate foreign scholarship program, which he said had been part of NDDC's manpower development. The NDDC interim administrator equally called on the United States Consulate to establish an office in Port Harcourt to ease off the stress on residents and peoples of the Niger Delta region who have to transact business with the U.S. Consulate.
If we stay here as a region we are very useful to you, we don't expect all our people to be traveling all the time to Lagos or Abuja to attend to consular matters. Why don't you think we will request that you bring the consular office to Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt has great infrastructure, we have security, the place is well built.
Earlier in his remarks, the head of the U.S. Consulate delegation, Mr. Brandon Hotspeth, noted that Nigeria and the United States were close allies working together to foster the bilateral relationship between both countries to improve lives, especially in the Niger Delta region. He said that the U.S. would continue to work with the NDDC to strengthen collaboration on strategies to improve peace and security to facilitate the sustainable development of the Niger Delta region.
Still from the interim administrator's office, Mr. Effiong Akwa has tasked the Nigerian Navy Hydrographic School to share information intelligence with other security agencies in the country in order to minimize insecurity and enhance the economic development of the Niger Delta region. Akwa gave his praise recently while receiving the commandant and officers of the Navy Hydrographic School in Port Harcourt.
The interim administrator has stressed the need for peace and security to create the necessary environment for the rapid development of the Niger Delta region. Akwa stated this when a delegation from the Nigerian Navy Hydrographic School paid him a courtesy visit at the NDDC new headquarters in Port Harcourt. He said that the NDDC needed the support of security agencies to succeed, noting that the presence of international oil companies in the Niger Delta region had made the area susceptible to kidnapping and other forms of criminality. The NDDC Chief Executive Officer said that much as the mandate of the Hydrographic School was basically training, It should also help with surveillance to provide information and data that would help the other security agencies to ensure a safe marine environment in the region.
The people of Niger Delta suffer a lot of security issues. Our women are being sometimes taken captive, men are being taken captive because of the presence of international oil companies that come to do business here. And so militants and thieves, armed robbers, take advantage of that, to molest our people.
Earlier, the Commandant, Nigerian Navy Hydrographic School, Navy Captain Mahmood Fana, appealed to the NDDC for support in providing critical infrastructure that would qualify the training school for international accreditation.
This school established in 1981 and the only one of its kind in the whole of West Africa, and yet because of absence of certain critical infrastructure, we could not conduct training for other West African officers of their navies.
Navy Captain Fana observed that the hydrographic school was selected for accreditation in 2018 by the International Hydrographic Organization, but following an inspection of their facilities, the accreditation was withheld, pending the availability of some facilities, such as surveying boats and a jetty.
They sent a team from Paris and from UK. They came, inspected the school with a view to accrediting it. They found out that the school has capacity, but there are some infrastructure that were not there. They said that no, a school of this kind ought to have a jetty.
He said that a 2018 contract for the construction of a jetty for the school by NDDC was cancelled on account of design deficiencies. However, he said the school had now produced an appropriate design and would therefore want the NDDC to re-award the contract for the construction of the jetty.
Thank you for being with us. We'll be here every week to give you an update of what is happening in the Niger Delta Development Commission. This commission, there are a lot of people are relying on to be the transforming catalyst of the Niger Delta. Thank you for being with us. Till next week. Bye for now.